Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm so glad you could join me today. We're going to be diving into one of the most powerful and honestly dramatic stories in the Quran, the story of Prophet Lut, as it's told in Surah Al-Hijr. It's a really compelling narrative about faith, about corruption, and about what happens when a society turns its back on divine guidance.
And this verse, this is really the key to the whole thing. It's the lens through which we're meant to see this entire story. This isn't just a history lesson, right? It's presented as a collection of powerful science, just waiting for people who are willing to stop, think, and look a little deeper. So as we go through this, let's keep that in the back of our minds. What are the signs we're meant to be seeing here?
All right, let's jump right in. The story kicks off with a journey. We have these angels, the very same ones who had just visited Prophet Abraham to give him good news, and now they're continuing their mission. Their destination? A city that was notorious for its deep-seated corruption and the home of Abraham's nephew, Prophet Lut. So the narrative in Surah Al-Hijr gets going the second these divine messengers arrive. Right from the get-go, you can feel this tone of importance, of foreboding. You know their presence is going to be a catalyst. It's the event that's going to force this huge confrontation between good and evil.
Now here's a really interesting detail. The specific Arabic word used here is al-Mursalun, and it's so important to get this right. These aren't human prophets. They are angels sent directly by God. They are agents of the divine will. They can deliver amazing news like they did to Abraham, but as we're about to see, they can also deliver divine judgment.
So these are Prophet Lut's first words to his guests, and you can just feel the anxiety behind them. This isn't him being suspicious. No, in his city, strange men were in constant danger. So his immediate reaction is one of fear. Fear for his guests' safety. You can already see his deep sense of honor and his duty to protect them.
Okay, so from here, things escalate, and they escalate fast. While Prophet Lut is trying to figure out how to keep these strangers safe, word gets out to the wicked men of the city that he has visitors. And at the very same time, the angels start to reveal the true and, frankly, terrifying reason for their visit.
Yeah, the angels do not beat around the bush. They tell Lut they've come with truth. And this isn't just any truth. This is the fulfillment of the warnings Lut had been giving his people for years, the very warnings they had always laughed at and dismissed. That phrase, with truth, basically means the time for talk is over. The divine decree is here, it's just, and it is absolutely happening.
This slide just lays out the massive moral gap in this city so perfectly. On one side, you have Prophet Lut. He sees these guests as a sacred duty, something to be protected at all costs. And on the other side, the people of the town. The Quran uses the word yastabshirun. They come rejoicing. They're celebrating the opportunity to commit a horrible sin. What one man sees as his duty to protect, an entire city sees as a reason to party. It's stark.
You could just hear the desperation in his voice here. He's making this powerful three-part appeal. First, he appeals to their honor. These are my guests. In that culture, that should have been enough. Protecting a guest was everything. Second, he appeals to their faith. Fear Allah. And third, he appeals to his own standing. Do not disgrace me. He is trying every single angle he can think of to get through to them.
And their response is just bone-chilling. They're not just saying no, they're mocking him for being a decent person. They're basically saying, hey, didn't we tell you to stop doing this? To stop protecting people? Their whole moral compass is so completely backward that they now see virtue as a crime. Decency is an act of rebellion to them. And with that, there's really nowhere left to go. Every single appeal to honor, to faith, to just basic human decency has been rejected. The point of no return has been crossed. The moment of judgment has arrived.
This verse is just, wow, it's astonishing. God himself swears an oath by the life of Prophet Muhammad. That is an incredibly rare and powerful thing to find in the Quran. And what is this powerful oath confirming? That the people were wandering around blind in their intoxication. But this isn't about alcohol. No, this was an intoxication of pure lust and desire, so overwhelming that it had completely blinded them to any kind of reason or morality.
Now pay close attention to how this punishment unfolds. It happens in 3 devastating stages right at sunrise. But look at step 2. The city is inverted. It is literally turned upside down. Its highest points become its lowest. Think about that. It is a perfect physical reflection of their moral state. A society that turned right and wrong upside down is itself physically turned upside down. The punishment fits the crime perfectly.
But even in this moment of doom, there is an escape route for the righteous.
The command to loot is specific, but that last instruction, do not let anyone look back, that is so deeply symbolic. It's not just about not seeing something horrible, it represents a complete and total break from that world of sin. It's a command to move forward and not have any lingering attachment, no nostalgia, no second thoughts about the corruption you are leaving behind forever.
So, the city is destroyed, but the story doesn't just end there. The Quran actually frames this whole event as a lesson, a permanent sign left for all of humanity. The final verses really drive this home. The point wasn't just punishment. It was to create a timeless and visible warning.
And this is how that warning was made real, made tangible. The text says the ruins were on an established road, most likely the major trade routes of the time. So the message wasn't just written down in a book, it was carved into the earth itself. A physical landmark that passing caravans would see and hopefully reflect upon.
And this is the crucial point. The signs are there, but who are they for? The Quran is very specific. They are for the mutawassimin. What a beautiful word. It doesn't just mean people who can see with their eyes. It means those who can discern, who ponder, who read the deeper meaning behind events. They're the ones who can look at a pile of ruins and see not just stones, but a profound moral lesson.
And that really brings us to our final thought for today. The story of Lut tells us about a physical ruin left on a road as a warning. So it leaves us with a huge question. What are the signs on the established roads of our own time? What are the events, the warnings in our world that are meant for us to reflect on? And maybe most importantly, are we choosing to be among the mutawassimin? Are we discerning enough to read them? Thank you so much for joining me today.